Before this year, the Texas Rangers haven't been 500 or better since 2016, and just 2 seasons ago, they were only 60-102, 68-94 last year. Now they are World Series champions for the first time in franchise history. The Rangers don't have a lot of homegrown talent, so they had to build their team by robbing other teams through trades and also by spending a lot of money. They have the 4th highest payroll among all 30 teams this year, but the 3 teams who had a higher payroll than them were not even wildcard teams this year, so money isn't the only answer. The Rangers were smart with how they spent their money while also robbing a number of teams through trades. The story of this year's Rangers actually began in the 2019-20 offseason when they stole Adolis Garcia from the St. Louis Cardinals after the Cardinals DFA'd him. To be fair, Garcia only hit 118 in 21 games as a Cardinal, but it's safe to say now that they gave up on him way too soon. Garcia didn't even get 1 hit in the 3 games he played in 2020 as a Ranger at the age of 27, and the Rangers almost made the same mistake the Cardinals did after they DFA'd him in the 2021 offseason. After nobody picked up Garcia, the Rangers invited him to spring training as a non-roster invitee, and he made it onto the Rangers active roster after an injury to Ronald Guzman, who was never impressive, got hurt. Giving Garcia another chance would particularly pay off in the playoffs, as he hit .323 with a .382 on-base percentage, .726 slugging percentage, and it had a WRC plus of 197 throughout the 2023 playoffs. The Rangers' inaugural season at Globe Life Field was bad to say the least, as they were just 22-38 in the shortened 60-game season, and there didn't seem like there was much hope for the future. That changed in December of 2020 when the Rangers hired Chris Jung as their new GM. Their first move was stealing Nathaniel Lowe from the Tampa Bay Rays while only giving up 3 prospects who were never even top 10 prospects for the Rays. Chris Jung just wouldn't stop pushing all the right buttons, and although the impact wasn't seen right away, we all see it now. In February of 2021, Chris Jung made another robbery of a trade by acquiring their future All-Star catcher Jonah Heim from the Oakland A's while giving up Elvis Andrus and Aramis Garcia. Neither of them were very impressive for the A's. It still wasn't quite time for the Rangers to shine yet though. At the 2021 trade deadline, because it was just a lost season, the Rangers traded their 2-time All-Star and Gold Glove winner, who's been known to be a low-average home run hitter in Joey Gallo, to the Yankees. PTSD. And one of the prospects the Rangers got for the Yankees, Ezekiel Duran, had an impact for the Rangers this year during the regular season, while Joey Gallo was an absolute disaster in New York, so way to go, Brian Cashman. Although the 2021 season was miserable for the Rangers, there was a glimmer of hope for the future after Adolis Garcia played his first full season, made his first All-Star game, and finished the season with 31 home runs and 90 RBIs. He struck out a lot and didn't walk much, but his power at the plate and great defense was enough for him to finish 4th in AL Rookie of the Year voting. Still, without a top-ranked farm system, it didn't seem like there really was any direction for the team until the Rangers managed to sign 2 prized free agents in Marcus Semien, who was 3rd in MVP voting in 2021 while playing for the Blue Jays, and a perennial All-Star in Corey Seager from the Dodgers, and also signed John Gray from the Rockies to a 4-year $56 million deal. Last season, the Rangers actually had an above-average season in terms of runs scored and were 8th in home runs, but they were below average in batting average and on-base percentage, with Semien and Seager not living up to their expectations. Semien mostly due to an abysmal start to the season, and their pitching was horrible, which is why they finished just 68-94. In the 2022-23 offseason, the Rangers bolstered their pitching, and although their prized free agent signing in Jacob deGrom ended his season early after requiring Tommy John surgery, that clearly didn't stop the Rangers after they added a lot of pitching depth by also acquiring Nathaniel Eovaldi in the offseason, and he became an All-Star for the first time this year. Andrew Heaney to strengthen the back end of the rotation, Aroldis Chapman in June, and Max Scherzer and Jordan Montgomery at the trade deadline. Chapman may not any longer be the dominant closer he once was, and his ERA for the Rangers was .372. However, he found success as a setup man, posting a .195 eighth inning ERA for the season. In the postseason, Chapman only gave up 2 earned runs in 9 appearances. The Rangers also got some help with Jose Leclerc, who pitched well coming back from Tommy John surgery in June last year, available for the entire season this year, and in the postseason he was the closer. The Rangers also hired Bruce Bochy, who was the manager of the San Francisco Giants when they won 3 World Series in 5 years in the early 2010s, and also managed the San Diego Padres to the 1998 World Series. Bochy is great at planning ahead of every single game, something that's essential in every sport, and it paid off in just his first year of managing the Rangers. He also didn't constantly shuffle the lineup and was always set on Semien leading off with Seager, Lowe, and Garcia behind him. It really helps a hitter to stay in rhythm when they always know where they're hitting in the lineup, and I really wish Aaron Boone or whoever it is making the lineup for the Yankees, if it's not him, could learn from this. The Rangers also vastly improved their defense, which was below average a year ago, with Adolis Garcia getting more opportunities, Leody Taveras, who was signed as an international free agent back in 2015, playing his first full season, Marcus Semien continuing to do a great job transitioning from shortstop to second base to allow Corey Seager, who's always been the better defensive shortstop, to thrive there since last year, Josh Jung, an actual homegrown star who the Rangers drafted with the 8th overall pick in 2019, playing stellar defense at third base in his first full season in the big leagues, Nathaniel Lowe improving significantly at first base, and Jonah Heim doing an excellent job behind the plate as a framer, and he was 5th among catchers in catching runners stealing. The Rangers finished the season 90-72, which had them tied with the Astros for the AL West title, but due to being just 4-9 in head-to-head matchups, the Astros won the division, forcing the Rangers to play in the wild card round while the Astros had the first round bye. This was actually the best thing for the Rangers because the Astros played poorly at home all season and only looked anything like the defending champions on the road. After the Rangers had no problem taking down the Rangers in the 2 wild card round games, they would sweep the top-seeded Orioles, proving that experience matters as the Orioles were just too young of a team at this stage. And then the Rangers beat the Astros in 7 games with all 4 wins in Houston. Yeah, not having home field advantage actually paid off against a team that's only been any good on the road, while Adolis Garcia was tearing the cover off the ball, hitting 5 home runs in 7 games while hitting .357 with a .400 on-base percentage and .600 slugging percentage, earning him ALCS MVP. The Rangers are also proof that batting average does still matter no matter how many new stats there are today. The Rangers had the 2nd best batting average in the regular season. Sure, batting average is not the only meaningful stat. Just to be clear, the Diamondbacks had the better batting average in the World Series and throughout the playoffs, but the Rangers had a better on-base percentage during the playoffs. The Rangers also out-hit everyone they faced with runners in scoring position. Experience prevailed for the Rangers in the World Series, even though this team hasn't been together very long. They just have more guys who've played on the bigger stage than the Diamondbacks. Corey Seager, who's been a champion and World Series MVP for the Dodgers, won World Series MVP, making him the first player since Reggie Jackson to win World Series MVP for 2 different teams. At least this time, nobody can say he won a Mickey Mouse ring. Even if against an 84-win team that's very young, it wasn't a full 162 game season with sellout crowds in attendance, and the Rangers didn't lose a single road game. Seager was especially clutch in the last 2 games, going 4 for 10 in those 2 games after Adolis Garcia, who was hitting .357 in the World Series and hit the walk-off home run in Game 1, went down with an injury in Game 3. Max Scherzer, Nathaniel Eovaldi, and Aroldis Chapman have all been World Series champions in the past. Marcus Semien has playoff experience from his days with the Oakland A's, and Mitch Garver has experience from his time with the Twins. Although statistically the Diamondback starting rotation outperformed the Rangers starting rotation, the Rangers won the battle of the bullpens in the World Series. The Rangers even had an unsung hero out of the bullpen in Josh Sborz, who had a .550 ERA and a negative WAR during the regular season, but gave up just 1 run in 10 postseason appearances this year, and he even sealed sealed the deal for the Rangers in the final 2 1/3 innings of the 2023 World Series to get the save. Oh, also another way to go moment for Brian Cashman. I always knew trading Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader was a suspect trade at last year's trade deadline, even as bad as Aaron Hicks was for the Yankees, and to make room for Frankie Montas, who was brought in with the intention of bolstering the rotation, only to so far be a huge bust for the Yankees. The Yankees treated Harrison Bader as horribly as you can treat any employee. He's no longer a Yankee now, while Jordan Montgomery played a role in the Rangers winning a championship this year. Yeah, great job, Brian Cashman. So that's all for this video. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers on winning the World Series. Now, do you think the Rangers can repeat next year? I just saw a graphic saying they have the 4th best odds to repeat as of now. There's a reason why nobody in Major League Baseball has done it in the last 23 years. It's hard to win in the first place, and to go back-to-back is even harder. What will help though is Evan Carter, who was the 8th best prospect going into the season, got called up in September and played well enough to make the Rangers postseason roster this year, and he contributed in the playoffs too. Next year we can expect a full season out of him. So what do you think? I'd love to read your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, a like would be much appreciated. Please consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you never miss another video. The next video I plan on is about the Diamondbacks' improbable run to the World Series. Even though they couldn't finish the job, their season most certainly was a success considering how unlikely it seemed for them to even make the playoffs going into the season, let alone the World Series. Hopefully you can stay tuned for that. So here's my most recent video and the video that YouTube recommends in the end screen. I'm sure you'll enjoy whichever one you click. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.